Hi folks, I'm Leanne. Welcome to Print and Polish. This is where I talk about a book that I read and do my nails at the same time. I'm just learning how to do nail art, so they might turn out, they might not. Let's get started. The next is Charmed Thirds by Megan McCafferty. It was published in 2021 and comes out to 528 pages. Based on the blurb, I thought it might turn out to be okay. It's not something that I would pick on a regular basis, but it is something that I might pick if in the right mood. You're a reader, you know what I mean about mood choices. It's chock full of teen angst, drama, and a good dose of laughs. A very specific mood is needed to read these types of things. When I first started reading, though, there was just something about it I didn't like. I'm not sure if it was the plot or the language. It came off maybe as a little pretentious, but it's the end of Jessica's first year of college, and I haven't read the first two in the series, which could have had a lot to do with it too. As I read it, it did grow on me a little bit though. At times I was really into it, at times I wasn't. It was just the right amount of angst and humor. I'm an 80s kid, so I was the perfect age for Dawson's Creek when it came around, and let me tell you, it was definitely my thing. In some ways, it reminded me of that show after they all moved on to college. It gave a pretty significant nostalgic draw to it. The times I was really into it were likely the times where rewatching Dawson's Creek wouldn't have been a bad idea. I think the fact that I haven't read the first two in the series has a lot to do with some of my dislikes of the book. I missed the progression through Jessica's high school life to when this book starts in her first year of college. I missed so much backstory. It can be read as a standalone, but I would have liked it better having read all of them. I would have been able to see why things happened the way they did. I would have been able to see Jessica's full development arc. Without that, this book fell just a little bit flat, and while I was reading, I did end up keeping a very close eye on how many pages that I had left. So that's a pretty big downside for me. Anyway, the story I did get was pretty good though. There was a very in-depth picture of Jessica's adventures through university, the evolution of her sexuality, the evolution of herself and her relationships as she transitioned into adulthood. There were so many times where the character made a point and I thought, I never thought about it that way, but is she ever right? And that's a really good thing to see, especially in fiction, to kind of like expand your perception on things. And a lot of times I feel like that's missing. There were also a few instances where her reactions were similar to the ones that I would likely have in those situations. One of which is how she dealt with the demise of Minnie Dub. There's so many times when I've reacted to things the same way. I have an initial reaction, then somehow manage to keep it together, but then something will trigger it and it all just comes to a head and I kind of explode. It was very familiar and very, very relatable. One thing that really bothers me is the wrap up of Marcus. Like, what? It is absolutely the way it should have gone based on the rest of the story, but still, it completely blew my mind that it went that way. Overall, I'm very, very conflicted on what to score this book. There's so many if statements. If I would have read the other books, if I would have been in the right mood to read it, if this, if that. I wouldn't read this book as a standalone again. However, I might give it another chance if I get time to read the other ones too. A sticking point for me is that I really kept a close eye on my progress. The reading version of Are We There Yet? Are We There Yet? Based on that, I give this one 2 books out of 5. That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining in. Links to the book and nail products are down in the show notes. If you think of a book that you'd like me to read or a nail design you would like me to try, please let me know in the comments. If you'd like something a little bit different, check out my other playlists where I read classic books like The Count of Monte Cristo. Thanks again and have a great day. I'll see you later.